Good morning. How's everyone doing today? Banger of a day going on today. We got one small loss, one decently sized win on the day. Uh, Pretty much what happened in today is we started to focus. A lot of things changed. Before I be trading, I got like live streams going on. I got like I'm on my phone, no music going, like so not focused. But today I was like, today, no phone, no live streams. It's gonna be me charts. I'm gonna be focused, and it ended up playing out pretty well. So we took two trades today. One was a loser because I entered too early, got stopped out. I re-entered immediately, but we're still documenting both trades, both journaling both of them. So we'll go over the first one here. The first one was a loss. Really quickly entered the trade at 9:38, exit at 9:41. 3 minutes in the trade, got stopped out. Yeah, bullish. We had high volatility. This is pretty. A lot of this is the same for both the trades. We had a strong. Actually, that's wrong. Do that. High volatility, and we had a strong uptrend on the lower time frame and a strong volatility on the uh, um, strong uptrend high time frame. There we go. Yeah. So we had SMT divergence with Nasdaq. We had high time frame alignment. Entry signals were inverse candle confirmation. Stop loss today was 19 pips. Risking about 0.2%. It's I don't know how to trade ES yet because I do max contracts that I can trade on ES, but it's only risking like 0.2%, 0.2.5%. So I think on because I want to do multiple TPs. Like I like to do multiple TPs. I don't want to have just like one TP really. But I mean I guess I could start looking over the trades, looking over the markets, and kind of change that instead. Just going to like mini contracts and just doing one. And just having a small RR rather than a big RR with multiple TPs. So I'm able to risk more, make more kind of thing. NQ is not as bad. Like if I do 5 micros, I'm actually risking quite a bit. So it's a lot better on Nasdaq if I do trade Nasdaq. Stop loss was 19 pips, risk about 0.2%, lost it. So gross P&L was minus $120. So see for trades like this, I should be risking a lot more. But ES just doesn't risk a lot on max contracts right now on a 50K account. Setup grade was an A. We'll go through the picture. I got a picture that's for me, but I'll go through it on the charts for you guys, so it's a lot easier. With the high time frame in alignment, SP forming IFVG took the trade with a tap into the 1 hour fair value gap. Simply just set the stop loss too tight. If I set it properly, I wouldn't have gotten stopped out, and I would have been totally fine. So it is unfortunate. I don't know why I set it so tight, but we'll have to learn from that. But I'm glad I re-entered and set a proper stop loss and ended up getting into the profits. So what went well? We had alignment with lower time frame, higher time frame, super bullish. Followed the trading plan, good TPs, and clear manipulation. What went wrong? We had too tight of a stop loss, and the IFEG was pretty weak. And the second trade ended up having a really strong IFVG. So we'll go over the second trade first, then we'll go into the charts and I'll show you what's going on there. So this is the second trade. We got the winner. We entered around 9:43, and then we got stopped in profit at around 10:21 after taking two TPs. News impact. This was post news. We had news at 10 o'clock, and it was pretty low impact. Didn't really do anything. It was bearish news, but again, the PMI didn't really do much. Market conditions: high volatility, strong uptrend, lower time frame and higher time frame. Confluences: we had a high time frame alignment, SMT with the relative, and we had clear displacement. That was the biggest thing for me: clear displacement. Candle confirmation, IFEG. Stop loss was a little bit bigger because it was proper at 29 pips. Risking about 0.2% because I mean I just can't risk on US. Can't risk. I can't do more than max contracts, so it's tough. Hit trailed stop loss. We got TP1 taken, TP2 taken, and the runner got stopped in profit. I set it at a low, and it and it just came down, sweeping the low, and then ended up hitting. I think it's still running in profit right now, but yeah, we got stopped out. Gross P&L was $330, fees of $296, but then minus the 120 that we lost on the first trade. A plus setup, honestly, executed it perfectly. Everything aligned, and once we get into the charts, I'll show you why it was, for me, honestly, an A plus, no brainer. So beautiful trade this morning. Coming in the market open, we had a strong movement in the high time frame, low time frame. Externally, the model played out. So we had an external model play out, and then I waited for market open. We had an internal model play out, took the trade, ended up hitting TPs. So played away market, built liquidity, then swept it with manipulation to then invert. Market opens, and we have a sell off into the 1 hour bullish fair value gap. We have bullish SMT, and we got clear internal model with clear manipulation to form a 1 minute IFEG entered, and the rest is history. Stopped in trailing stop loss. So went well. We were patient, followed the plan. Good clear entry in the kill zone, 9:30 to 11 a.m. Good money management, good TPs, focus, and executed. What went wrong? Could have risked more. I mean, I guess I could have traded just like one ES mini, but I don't really like doing that. I want to have multiple TPs. I like doing multiple TPs rather than like one final TP getting like hit and not taking profits. So that's just personally how I like to trade, but we'll have to change that up if need be on these trading accounts. So there you can see we have TP for today. RPNL $204 after the one losing trade got removed from the winning trade. All right, let me do this. So pretty much what I saw going into the market open. Let me just. We're looking pretty bullish. There's a 4 hour fair value gap right there. This is a really good discounted area of this huge leg up to look for buys. So that was another thing that I was looking forward to. On the NAS, you can see we are in that 4 hour fair value gap as well. Rejected it. We're still holding. Break of structure. And again, we're in the discount zone of this huge leg up. So again, just another reason or confluence in my mind why I want to be buying. Kind of why I was buying yesterday as well, but going over yesterday's trade, I realized what I did wrong, and we journaled it. We're gonna learn from it and move on to today. So 1 hour. Let's see what we got going on in the 1 hour. We got a pretty high time frame downtrend, but I'm not really taking all of that into account for a small like 10-minute trade. You know what I mean? I'm counting this as like the higher time frame. This is the hours, so like these are the past hours. So they're pretty big time frame, pretty big uptrend. Because the recent data is really like only what I'm looking for. You don't really need to take all of this into account when you're looking for like a 1 minute entry. This is like the 1 hour, so it's not as big as not as important if it's in that huge of a downtrend. But again, marked out the 1 hour fair value gap. As you can see, let me just get rid of these. As you can see right here on NAS, we had a 1 hour fair value gap. And then on the ES, we had this tiny little 1 hour fair value gap as well. We had TPs, we had liquidity at the bottom, top. And then let's go down to the 15 minutes. Turn these on. Already took out previous day lows. We had Asia lows, London lows already got swept. So this is kind of another reason why I wanted to look for buys as well. We had this external model, as I was saying in the journal. We had this low get taken out with displacement. As you can see here, we had this low right here taken out with displacement. We had displacement upwards. We had consolidation or a range that eventually generated all this liquidity. All this right here is just liquidity to the downside. So This is pre-market as well. We had this huge manipulation downwards, sweeping liquidity. We had inverse. It was pretty slow inverse, but nonetheless got inversed on this. This is the external model. Inverse fair value gap right there. We had that inverse, this is the 15-minute, we inverse that. So I kind of seen the external model play out where, you know, you have a sweep, we had consolidation, manipulation, distribution, or displacement, I guess you could say. So external model played out, market opened, we had that 1 hour fair value gap form. We had some relative equal highs right there. We had some major highs up here, and then these are just session lows. I like to mark out session lows, session highs, previous day lows, previous day highs, 1 hour highs and lows, and then fair value gaps. So pre-market, that's what I'm marking out. Then I'm going back to the higher time frames, looking at the trend, looking at where I think price will go, what price is showing me, and then wait for market open and go from there. So let's go down the 5 minutes, see what we see. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, got that displacement. Started making movements up. Then we changed change of character, I guess you could say. I don't really have a name for it, but people call it like a CISD or a change of character, a chalk, if you will, where we kind of displaced through London highs after having that external model play out. So I wanted to see price go higher, so that's why I had that bullish bias. Then we had the 1 hour fair value gap. We had some more smaller fair value gaps going on there. Let's go down to 1 minute. I'll show you what's going on here. And I'll show you the SMT that we formed. As you can see on the NASDAQ, we had a lower low. We're at 750 of today. We got that sweep at 936. We had that sweep of liquidity. Why I think it's a sweep is we had displacement lower or manipulation lower to then inverse it pretty much immediately on the NASDAQ. And then on the US 500, we have no sweep, 750, and this is 936. We had a bullish SMT form, and that's kind of why I was looking at that first trade and why I took it. So we had a manipulation downwards. This is the bearish fair value gap that got inversed. As you can see, I got inversed on that candle. So my entry was like right here. We entered stop loss. I set it below because I believe I was just not as confident for some reason, just because I'm not really used to taking the immediate trades into session open. So I set my stop loss right below the low. Don't know why. I should honestly just set it below the swing low, and I would have been, actually it wouldn't even been stopped out because it never took liquidity. But and we ended up getting like an entry pretty much at the same price. So again, human error, we learn from it, and we move on. So anyways, so yeah, we lost there. I was going to just take it and ride it to that high. But once I seen the second trade start to actually play out, then I set more TPs. I set a higher TP. What I wanted to kind of see long term, I wanted to take quick profits and then let a runner run to those highs because I just have a conviction for price to go that high. So we're pretty much watching it kind of play out now. Consolidation, a lot of consolidation. I'm glad I got out when I got out, so I don't have to deal with that. So yeah, I got stopped out and then came on right down, forming more bearish fair value gaps or manipulation, but didn't end up sweeping the low on ES or NAS. So the SMT, the first SMT that I had wasn't kind of like invalidated or changed anyway. It's still valid. The SMT is still, it's still a bullish SMT. You could draw it to 943, but again, bullish SMT is still there. We had the inverse right here, a very clear manipulated inverse. This is the inverse that I like to take entries off and what I should take off every single time, not these wicks to the upside, then inverse. No, it's quick down, quick up, inverse. You're in the trade, execute, and you're off to the races. So I entered at 943 on the close of that bullish candle. We did have a pullback, but I had a proper stop loss, and then after that, pretty much off to the races. Took my first TP at the swing high right here. I guess I can do this because we don't really need to look at NAS anymore. First TP took off a contract at that high. Second, I took 2 contracts off at these relative equal highs over here, moved stops to break even. And then as you can see, it started to pump all the way up. And I set my stop loss right below this low right here, this swing low. After this huge displacement up, I was like, okay, perfect. We have a swing low that got formed. I'll move my stop loss into profit. And then as you can see, it just dumped on down, swept liquidity, and then now it's just ranging. So honestly, I'm okay with that. That's proper risk management for me. I'm happy with it. And at the end of the day, we got the win. We're up 200. We're positive. So I'm just going to keep doing that and journaling, working, learning, and that's it. That's all it does. That's all it takes. I'm very glad I took this trade. I don't usually take early morning trades. I usually like to see the market play out, and I'm kind of in a way going against what I should be doing, where I'm kind of waiting for market to play in a way that I wanted to play. I'm not playing with the market. Like I'm trying to force the market to do something so then I can enter, where the market's not going to do what I want to do. It's going to do what it wants to do. So it's kind of weird, but I'm starting to learn that. So today was definitely a kind of like an example of that, where I'm following what the market's doing. I'm not waiting for the market to do what I want to do. I'm doing what the market wants to do, if that makes sense. But and it ended up playing out, ended up working out. I'm okay with that, getting stopped in profit, because you want to be still in this trade. You don't want to be sitting over here waiting for it to go all the way up to these session highs, I think, or previous day highs. Actually, I was gonna have my final TP session previous day highs, sorry, but clearly price doesn't want to go there yet, and that's totally fine. We're out of the trade. W of the day. If you enjoyed the recap, if you didn't understand anything that I just said, leave a comment below, and I'll try to explain things in further detail. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for being here for the trade recap, and I'll see you guys in the next one.